Okay, negotiating repairs. So the home inspector came and you've received this very, very long list of items regarding your home. Keep in mind that there's two different things that you should receive after the home inspection. One is the actual full home inspection for you. That's right, the buyer paid for the home inspection, but in Oklahoma, in our state contracts, he is required to give you a copy of that home inspection, assuming that he actually had a licensed inspector do the report. In that case, he does have to share that with you. So that's item number one. Item number two is what's called a TRR, which is treatment, repair, and replacement. I almost forgot what that was. TRR, treatment, repair, and replacement request. And this is where the buyer can ask you to treat for termites, treat for wood fungus, maybe treat for bugs or spiders, rodents. We've had that scenario. Repair would be where something was not in normal working order and now they've made you aware of it and they're requesting that you take care of that. A good example could be the hot water heater. Even though the hot water gets hot, maybe it was not installed properly. And there's a lot of layers for that, some things that you need to be aware of as to the age of the installation of the hot water heater and what your obligations are on meeting that. But what I want to stress about that is sometimes the seller takes the hard line that, well, I'm not fixing that, they can buy it as is. You know, that's totally fine if the pricing of the home is appropriate for whatever that item is. And if you disclose that. That's right, you have to disclose that there was something that you were aware of that was not working prior to going into contract. So be sure and go back and watch the video about disclosures and it will save you a lot of heartache. So talking about the inspection, when they ask you to repair something, keep in mind now that you're aware that it's not working, if this deal falls apart, you will need to go back and update your disclosures and make the next buyer aware that this item is not working. And if you are trying to sell your home in this buyer's market, you want to be really, really aware that it's important to have the home in good, normal working order, or at least be familiar with the fact that you need to price it accordingly. And then the last is, on the R, is replacement. That's right, replacement. Sometimes the item cannot be fixed or repaired, it may need to be replaced, such as a cracked window or a busted window. Now, this is not always just the buyer being difficult and wanting every little nitpicky thing. This is sometimes a knowledgeable realtor who's trying to avoid issues with the appraisal. Remember, the appraiser is working for the bank or the lender, and his job is to see if there's any major defects that are visible prior to giving a value on the home. So a broken window would need to be replaced, not really any way to repair that. So when you are negotiating on those repairs, try not to take such a hard line that you're not doing any of it, because even if you and the buyer agree that that's acceptable, when the appraiser comes out, there's a really high likelihood that the appraiser is going to require it anyway. And by that point, you're typically 2 weeks out from closing, and that can be a very stressful situation for you to be in, to be negotiating 2 weeks prior to closing. So when at all possible, make the repairs or offer some type of an allowance so that those things can be covered. And again, when you hire the realtor, ask them about walking through the home and giving you a good list of items so that you can be aware of prior to the home inspection and possibly even correct them before the inspector shows up. So I hope that helps. Be sure and try to negotiate those repairs, everyone. Thank you.